Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 26 for a step-by-step guide to learn Angular. So if you are directly coming to this video, I will recommend you to watch previous video first and then you can come to this video. These are the topics we are going to cover in this complete video series, and in this video we are working on reactive form. So in the previous two video we created our reactive form and we worked on dynamic validation, and in this video we are going to work on set and patch value for reactive form. So let's start, and this is a application we are going to develop in this complete video series. So first question is, what is set value and patch value? So the set value and patch value is used to initialize our reactive form. So now let's open our to-do form, and here I am going to add one button. So let's copy this and paste it here. Now let's change this to button, and let's remove this disabled condition also, and I'm giving this as a test data. So what I'm going to do is with this test data click event, I want to initialize my form. So let's say it click here, and let's call one test data method, and let's create this method in our component. So let me open my component, and here I'm going to create method test data, and I'm going to initialize our form. So how can we initialize? With the set value or patch value. So let's first use set value. So I'm going to use this dot to do form dot set value. I can see even patch value also, but this time let's use set value. And in the constructor we can see we can pass key and value as an array. So let's pass our key and value. So I can copy this and paste it here, and let's remove this, and I'm giving task as a YouTube task, and category, let's copy one of the category from HTML. So what are the categories we are having? Let's see, personal. So let's copy and paste personal here, and for date I'm going to use one uh, method that's called format date. This is a part of Angular common. So inside a format date, I'm going to give new date, and let's say date.now, and here as a second parameter I can define the date type. So it should be YYY, then then DG, and let's define the culture. So it should be EN, and this is a method, so let's add this, and let's add same value for end date also. And let's initialize this auto close with the false value and add semicolon here, and let's save this. Okay, so I can see 2 comma here, so let's remove this one and let's save this. So now we can see this test data button. So now let's click on this, and I should see my values should be initialized. So let's click here, and I can see that YouTube task and this personal and that current date is getting initialized now. But suppose there is a case where I only want to initialize my start date, end date, and auto close property, and I don't want to initialize this task name and category property. So how can I do that? So let's go back to our solution, and here I'm going to remove this uh, two properties, and now let's save this. So now let's click on test data. So oh, my changes are not working. So let's see our browser console. So you can press F12 key in the keyboard, and then your console is open, and I can see one error, and this error is saying must supply a value for form control with the name task name. So when we are using a set value, so we need to pass all the controls name. So here the patch value comes in the picture. When you want to update your form partially, then suggested ways to use patch value. So let's change this to patch value and see our changes are working or not. So now here in the test data method, I am going to change this set value to patch value. Let's save this, and now let's verify our changes again. So now let's click on test data again. And yeah, this time I can see these three controls values are getting initialized. Let's check our verify. Let's verify our console also. So I cannot see any error now. So our changes are working as expected. But now let's me enter task name. Let me select the category so I can see my save button is enabled, and I'm giving a start date as a 23rd August 2020, and I'm giving end date as a 25th, so that's fine. But suppose if I'm giving end date as before start date, so this is an invalid scenario, but still my button is valid. So in the next video I'm going to add this cross field validation similar to in the template driven we added email and confirm email, sorry, password and confirm password validation. So similar to that, we are going to add this cross field validation for start date and end date. So that's all for this video. See you in the next video for cross field validation. Thank you for watching.